This is Kickin' and Streamin' Podcast, a binge watcher's guide to streaming movies, TV series, and stuff. Here are your hosts, Graham and Jocelyn.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Kickin' and Streaming Podcast. My name is Graham, and with me today, of course, is the very absolutely fantastic Jojo. And according to me and other people, we are live on YouTube today.
Woohoo!
Hello, Jojo.
Hello, Graham. We are live. Live and in the
live.
flesh.
Yeah. Jojo, how you been, Jojo?
I've been okay. How about
You
you?
been all right? How
I've
was
been
your
all right.
week?
It was stupid.
The week is always stupid, but I don't even know.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
not,
just,
I'm
it
not,
was
I'm
stupid.
not gonna play with that. The week
wasn't-
is freaking stupid.
Yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. You know, it wasn't earth-shakingly bad or anything, but it wasn't good, and it was just stupid.
All right, well, let's drink to the stupid week. Is that something we can do actually?
I don't see why not. I mean,
Yo, it
works
just
for me.
started raining like a motherfucker right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
I mean, really, dude. Can you hear it?
I just heard something. Yes. That was wow. That's fun. I haven't seen rain since February, so
Oh, really, man? You guys are bad over there. Holy shit.
I think there's been a
Really?
few sprinkles, but like actual rain. Yeah, I think the last time was February. I think.
My goodness.
I
This
could be
is
wrong.
insane.
If I'm wrong, the
February.
internet will happily tell me I'm wrong. So
Oh, yeah.
it's
You
good.
know, the internet is always there for that.
Absolutely. They
You
are
know,
good at that.
so,
Thank you.
yeah, no.
Appreciate
You
it.
were wrong and you need to be canceled.
Yes.
Well, Jojo, the reason we are live today, of course, as you know, is because this week the Emmy nominees were announced, and we have to go over that.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it's
it's the law.
still relevant, isn't it?
It's the law. I have to be the internet for a second here though, Graham, and say that something's wrong.
What's wrong there?
The lower third that I can see says we're talking about redemption.
Oh, let's fix that. Damn.
Sorry to be the internet, but
Oh, internet. I'm sorry, internet. Yeah. Okay, so let's fix that, Jojo. All right. Fixed. Boom. Those are the things that happens when you are live.
that's hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're cool. We're
Yeah.
back to our own self coolness.
Yeah. Well,
Dang, man.
I didn't want to get confused and start talking about the wrong thing because I really rely on the lower thirds to tell me what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Jojo.
Otherwise, I don't know.
I understand that. And I agree with you. I feel like you are right. You know, that's my thing. I feel like you're right.
Okay.
We haven't been live in a long time, Jojo, haven't we?
No, we really haven't been live in a very long time. So
The last time
hello,
we were live
everyone.
was the last time we were live was on the day after the Oscars.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, man. So can you hear the thunder, everyone? It literally started raining once we went live. So thank you for that.
And in the immortal words of Fleetwood Mac, thunder only happens when it's raining. So
okay, and we'll take that.
Or maybe it's Stevie Nicks,
face
but
value.
either way.
We'll take that at face value. So, Jojo, before we get started with the nominations and our predictions, of course, we are going to talk about the big surprises and the snubs.
Mhm.
Any big ones for you? Surprise or snub?
I was surprised that Yellowstone wasn't nominated really for anything.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Yellowstone, I should say, but I do know that it's kind of like a critical darling as well as a masses darling. So I was
Yeah.
kind of expecting it to kind of sweep things. And my other one was Pachinko. I thought that it would be in with something because it is a very, very good show. And for it to be snubbed was a surprise for me. But the other one that I was surprised that was nominated was the series about inventing Anna. I was surprised that it got nominations.
You were surprised about that one.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I have to say, I don't know why, but like Inventing Anna wasn't really everybody's cup of tea.
No, I don't know why either. And I felt, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I know we did a show about it. But I just for whatever reason wasn't expecting it to get anything just because there were so many other shows that people were nuts over.
I think it's maybe I'm going a little bit out of way here, but I think a lot of people, the show or the story of Anna Sorokin rubbed a lot of people a lot of the wrong way,
Mm,
because this is a foreigner who made Americans, especially rich Americans, look like fools,
true. This is
and
true.
and that is probably somehow unforgivable. If it were the other way around, if it were a regular American Joe who went to, I don't know, Luxembourg or Germany or Switzerland or anywhere and portrayed to be some rich asshole and, you know, fooled a lot of people, movies would be made about it, and he probably would be a folk hero
You're
for the
right.
longest time. But a Russian immigrant from Germany to into the United States and getting away with that kind of shit is a little bit perhaps rub people's ego the wrong way. I don't know if I'm addressing that the, you know, if I'm seeing it too much one way or the other.
No, I don't think so at all. I think, when we talked about the series, we kind of touched on that a bit that we talked about Frank Abagnale and how he's like a folk hero, um being a I mean, he was an American himself, but he essentially did basically the same thing. He conned rich people out of money and got himself into positions that he really didn't deserve to be in.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's kind of like, oh, it's so cute, like,
yeah,
but it's an adorable story, whereas people just really despise, Anna. So I completely think you're right. It's a cultural slash misogynistic thing. So yeah.
yeah, there's also that, you know, because I remember back in the early 2000s, you know, when it was cool to be anti-Bush and the whole thing, like, you know, because, you know, the second Bush term, you know, everybody was an anti-Bush and anti-war and shit, you know. And I remember, you know, every late night TV and everything was like pretty much all the jokes were about Bush and the dumbness and the stupidity of him, whatever. But then Hugo Chavez, who was alive at the time, during a speech at the UN, sort of like went after George Bush with words and sort of like said, I remember him saying something like, you know, the devil was standing right here, right a few minutes ago, and I can still smell the sulfur or something.
Yes, I remember that.
And Americans went wild, like, I may not like my president, but how dare you talk about my president? I'm like, y'all motherfuckers say worse.
Yes,
What are we doing? You
yes,
guys say worse. I'm like, you like in your mind, this is the dumbest motherfucker to ever be president of anywhere.
yeah,
And yet another president says something about it. Like you want to go wild so
yeah,
that tomorrow you can go back and say worse about him again. Like
yeah,
this is dumb. But you know,
yeah. Well,
that's when I figured out, okay, Americans have a really funny way of thinking about.
I remember too, around the same time, the band that used to be known as the Dixie Chicks, one of them came out and said something about the president, and then their careers were essentially over
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And I mean, again, like you said, all the male comedians and everything, everybody was talking bad about Bush at the time, but God forbid a country woman say country singing woman say anything about it. It's just what the hell.
It's just unbelievable, Max. Seriously, it is
Double
unbelievable.
standards are fantastically bizarre.
Yeah, I think I read an article that says we need to stop making Anna Sorokin and a a feminist a feminist icon, and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I don't know that anybody's doing that, but you know,
I yeah,
yeah,
I don't think anybody is at all. I really don't. I think the person who wrote something like that is kind of feeling triggered maybe by their own misogyny about other people. And they're like, I'm gonna pour it on Anna Sorokin because
yeah,
she's actually legitimately kind of I don't know. That's just
yeah. No, I mean, there were a couple of surprises for me, and surprise number one for me is that. And I shouldn't be surprised because that seems to be the treatment that Stars Network gets from the Emmys. Like very few things from the Stars Network gets nominated.
true.
I remember for all the years that Power was out, being like one of people's favorite show on any Sunday night, really giving it to shows like Game of Thrones and things like that. Power almost never got nominated, and I think Omari Hardwick got nominated once, maybe for a Golden Globe or something like that. But like, there was some really Power was really, really a good show, and of
Yeah.
course, after Power, um, the show's creator, Courtney Kemp, I believe, she devised this entire Power universe where she's telling you the backstory, the prequel of most of the characters, the character that 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson 50 Cent used to play on Power. The character is named Kanan. And I think one of the best thing that came out of the Power books was Raising Kanan, with the backstory of Kanan as the villain and whatever. And the actress who plays the mother of Kanan, Patina Miller, she is wow. Jocelyn, she is absolutely fantastic. Like, this lady is the show. If you watch Raising Kanan, you will be like floored by the performance of Patina Miller, and no nomination. And the young kid, well, he's about maybe a little younger than my son, so 19 and 20 maybe, that does the young 50 Cent, the young Curtis Jackson, or Kanan in that respect. His name is, I think, Mekhi Henderson.
Okay.
He too is brilliant. But those are the two people that I'm highlighting. The cast wise, this show is, I'm telling you, this is something out of this world. Okay. And no nominations whatsoever. And to me, that's like, there's something wrong with that. There's something absolutely wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's because I mean, Power is, as you've said, a fantastic show. It's an incredibly popular show. Very influential in terms of pop culture and things like that. So that's kind of unforgivable because for something like Game of Thrones to consistently every single year be nominated and win everything is ridiculous. So it's like missing one season of something is forgivable. It's like, okay, this kind of went under the radar for you for whatever reason. But the next year you were like, oh, this show is really good, and let's go ahead and nominate some folks for it. And to never really fix that mistake is I an example of a systemic problem that's
yeah,
going on in Hollywood and everywhere else.
yeah, I definitely believe that. And also, Blackish, last season, that's another show that has also come out with a lot of tentacles, from Blackish to Grownish and this and that. And Blackish somehow became a cultural revolution. And Blackish talked about in the moment. a lot of issues that we're talking about. We're talked about at everyone's kitchen tables, especially during the height of, uh, you know, the Obama presidency and Black Lives Matter uh, issues. So there was a lot going on that Blackish brought to us in a way that it was palatable, and also there was a non-preachy message there.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
in the cast, and we watched the kids grow up. Anthony Anderson, uh, as sort of like the background character of Kenya Barris, who is the inventor of the show. Tracy Ellis Ross as Rambo, and yeah, the kids, and Lawrence Fishburne as Pops. I mean, it was this show deserved an adieu from the Emmys, and
Yeah.
to get no nomination to me is just also something that I don't understand. Um, Another surprise for me, and I'm gonna leave it at that, is the nomination of Selena Gomez only as producer to
Yes.
to all the
Yes.
murders in the building, and then you get
Yes.
of course Martin Short and Steve Martin are going to get nominated, but oh God forbid we would nominate Selena Gomez too as outstanding actress for no.
Yeah.
It's just what the hell, Jojo?
Yeah. Yeah. I had forgotten that one, but that one kind of was like, what the hell with that one? Because she's as important as, I mean, they're all equally important. You don't have the show without all of them together. So I don't understand. And I know that Steve Martin and Martin Short both spoke out about it, like, what the shit?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are you
and
guys doing? Like, really? Uh,
deservedly so. I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah, and I'm glad they did because,
Yes.
I mean, they, they're obviously at a point in their careers where they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Zero fucks
And
to give.
and I'm glad that they're using that to be like, "No, this isn't right. This is totally not right."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
And,
just an amazing thing, man.
if I was Selena Gomez, I would be, of course, upset, but I would also be thrilled to know that Steve Martin and Martin Short had my back. Be
They
like,
have your
"Yeah,
back. Yeah.
yeah,
If you want two people to have your back, there you got it.
yeah."
Right there. These are the two people with Hollywood. These are the two people you really want to have your back. That's for sure. Um, I know that I said that we weren't going to talk about outstanding variety talk shows, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that because there's a couple of shows there that I want to predict.
Okay.
And I don't even know what we're predicting because we know last week tonight we'll win it. But let's do that, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start with our outstanding variety talk series. Last week tonight with John Oliver, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Late Night with Seth Meyers, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, and Jimmy Kimmel Live. My prediction is okay. So the only competition I can see to last week tonight, to be honest, is actually The Daily Show with Trevor Noah
Mhm.
because Trevor Noah has come a long way, Jojo. I have to say, you know, I'm not saying that Trevor, when he took over for John Stewart, I'm not saying he was bombing. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the show changed so much. It's one thing for a show to change host, and another thing for a show to change host and format.
Yes.
And I think Trevor did a load of, not Trevor, but like there was a lot of things that happened that changed the show, and it became a little bit, at least for me, a little too, not even watered down, but a completely different show than the Daily Show.
Yes.
And so I stopped watching. Uh, Trevor, for me, he's always been a good stand-up comedian, even in his brief time during his brief time in Britain. Um, but I don't know that I would have introduced a non-native comedian to host a show that is that dive so deep into US politics. That's just me, but apparently it worked, because Trevor and the crew, they're thriving right now, and they've done a great job, at least in the past 2 years that I can think of. What do you say?
Yeah, I agree with you that the first season or few, because like you, I did end up not stop watching for a while. Were kind of rough,
Yeah,
honestly. And I'm not saying that they were bad, just that you kind of felt like everybody was struggling a little bit, and
yeah,
it was sort of too painful to watch, because you
yeah,
really wanted them to succeed and you wanted it to do well, but at the same time it was like, I just can't. I'm too invested in this. I need to stop.
yeah, yeah,
Was
yeah.
basically my feeling. So yeah, no, and I agree with you that they've I think come into their own and realized the message that they want to send and the way they want the show to be, as opposed to still figuring it out. So I think, as you said, they've come a long, long way,
And
and that's fantastic.
I also think that there was these fainted hope that from all of us, that if anybody was going to replace Jon Stewart, it had to be John Oliver,
Hmm.
because before Jon Stewart left the show, I think he went to Israel.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Graham? I wonder if the power went out in the Carolinas. I think we must have.